Greetings, learner teachers. Dr. Z here live with a brief overview of how to use Google Classroom. So now that you've entered the secret code and have become part of our Google Classroom, how do you move around this platform? Well, first, may I strongly recommend that you begin by just bookmarking the Google Classroom for quick reference. So just add it to your bookmark bar so you can get to it whenever you need it. Now, when you first open the Google Classroom, it defaults to this view called the Stream View. And the Stream View is just a long list of every posting that's ever been made to the Google Classroom. In other words, I think it is quite useless, but Google, in their infinite wisdom, has chosen to make it the default setting despite millions of emails from teachers all over the country. This still remains the default view. So what do? Well, right next door to Stream, you see this thing called Classwork. Always go to the Classwork view. Here you will find everything laid out rationally, conveniently organized to support your learning and success in this class. At the top of the screen, you will see the current session that should be the focus of your attention. That session will include these items every week. There'll be a before we meet task. So even though class starts at 4:30, our Zoom will begin at 4:45. You'll be expected to come in and take care of this before we meet warm-up task before you join the Zoom. And again, once you click on one of these headings, it opens up a window. There'll be some instructions. There'll be links to whatever the assignment is that you're supposed to take care of. You do the assignment, and then when you're done, there'll be some sort of a submit button that you click. Your view in Google Classroom as a learner is slightly different than my view as the teacher, so I cannot show you the submit button. But there is a submit button when you're done that you click, and it just shows me that you've turned it in. If at any time, for any assignment, you need to go back and make revisions before I return it to you, you do not have to send me an email asking me to give you permission and to unsubmit. You have the power at any time to unsubmit any assignment in the Google Classroom to give you editing access. However, once you do submit, you cannot edit until such time as I either return it or, as I just mentioned, you unsubmit it. So there'll be a before we meet task. There's a warm-up. Get that done before we meet. Then you'll see the live session link and documents. Some instructions. They'll be the same. All parts of this will be the same every week. There'll be a link to our Zoom meeting. And then there'll be links to any other documents that we're going to be using during the session. Typically, there'll be a Google slideshow that will be used to organize our interactions during our time together online. It will be in the form of something called a Pear Deck, which you will click on that link and it will take you into that slide deck. Those slide decks typically will not be posted until shortly before we meet because I will be busy refining them and making them the best ever to support your success in the class. When we're done meeting, there will be after meeting tasks. This class is scheduled to meet for many more hours than we're actually going to spend online. And so you'll be expected to complete some additional asynchronous tasks. And those tasks, along with reminders of your regular homework assignments, will be posted here. So again, you read through the instructions, follow them. There'll be links to anything you need to take care of, and submit as instructed. In addition, in case you're absent or just need to go back and refresh, or you want to enjoy some of the hijinks that had taken place during that session, I will be posting recordings of each session when those recordings become available, typically within 24 hours. So the current session will be at the top of the screen always each week. Then that session will be archived. You'll still have access to it. I'll just drag the whole item down below in a lower section of the Google Classroom, and the current session will be posted at the top. So when you open the Google Classroom and go to classwork, the current information will always appear here. Next, you'll see the course assignments, and this will always remain in this second position. And the course assignments, description of the course assignments, I will post, the points that you earn here. Depending on what the assignment is, you'll turn something in or not. You will not need to turn in a course attendance. That's something I will just take care of. But these other assignments, which I'll be going over in class and that you'll be reading about in the syllabus, are all posted here. Everything will include instructions, templates, samples for your benefit, etc., etc., etc. I will go into more detail about these when we meet next week. However, if you can't wait, there is a link here to a video that gives you an overview of every single assignment for those of you that just need to know. The third section is the course resources. And here you'll find a link to our syllabus, now updated and accurate. Something called the Best Class Ever, Bucket List, TK20, Demystified, and for yours truly, this section down here, and these are just reference documents for my benefit and ultimately for your benefit. So, other things you'll find here is you'll find a People tab, and here will be listed all your fellow learner teachers so that you have quick access to their emails if you want to contact anybody. You will not have access to the grade tab because that's for the teacher learner, myself. And then there'll be some other things different on your desktop. I believe, if I recall correctly, you have a list of assignments that will appear separately than this descriptive list down here with due dates, and I believe you may have access to this topic list too. I'm not sure. That's something I'll have to ask you and you can tell me about. So there's a quick overview of our Google Classroom, and obviously if you have any questions, I'm here to answer those and help support your ultimate success in learning and the learner. Dr. Z, over and out for now.